All right, what's up, YouTube? Super quick video here today. I know you saw the title. It says why reps or why rep range don't matter. Why reps don't matter. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna title it yet, but this is why they don't matter. Okay, I want you to take an example like your bicep. Okay, you can, or here I'll make it realistic. I'll apply it to my situation, what it was. Like a bicep dumbbell curl, I was maybe, I started off doing 15s, 20s. I was trying to progressively overload, and there's a certain time like I hit like 30s to 35s, right? And every single time I would train biceps, I would grab the exact same weight that I've been doing for the past 4 weeks, right? And it'd be something like 30 pounds, and I would do it for 12 reps, right? And I would do 3 by 12. And I'll do that every single session. But I always felt like my arms were lacking. I felt like, there was something missing, like they could have been bigger. I could have maybe trained them harder. I didn't understand whether I had to do more volume and train it every other week, or if I had to switch the exercise I was doing. But this is what I learned recently that has now like opened my eyes to like, wow, I was training so incorrectly before. Your rep range does not matter. Like, in a sense, it doesn't matter if you do 6 reps or 8 reps or 10 reps or 12 reps. Those are all like measurements of how strong you are, but those are just measurements of how strong you are. So it doesn't necessarily indicate your true strength. Now, what would indicate your true strength? Something like 1 rep maxing, right? Like if you go to 1 rep max and you struggle and you take super long to complete the rep, but then you complete it, like that is actually what you're capable of doing, right? So I started to take this concept not of 1 rep maxing, but of the intensity behind a 1 rep max is something like you're fighting for your life. Like you feel like you're gonna die. Like I'm thinking about all the time I would bench press, and like how much intensity and effort went into completing that 1 rep. It was everything I had, right? So if you started taking that similar concept of pushing with intensity and doing the hardest that you can and applying it to your exercises like a bicep curl or shoulder raise or whatever it may be, I started seeing that I actually started to gain more results, because what results in muscle growth isn't like the rep range or the weight you do, but the stimulus you receive, right? Muscle stimulus or muscle stimulation is how you actually grow your muscles. And so if you grab something that you've been doing for 4 weeks, the same way for 4 weeks, and you continue to do it, like your muscle, right? Like muscle memory, let's just think about that concept, the concept of muscle memory, where your muscle can remember how something feels, right? Or it can remember how to do something, and you don't really need to look, you don't really need to pay attention, because your muscle knows what it's supposed to feel like. If you're continuously doing the same way week after week, your muscle knows what that feels like. So it can't grow, because what Arnold meant when he said shock the muscle, and what people say when they say, oh, shock the muscle or do this to the muscle or that, it's stimulate the muscle. Like muscles need stimulation to grow, right? And stimulation can like come, I don't know, I think I learned about this in biology, but like stimulation comes from change, right? Like a light is like a stimulus for like a plant or something like that. I think that's what I remember they taught me. But in a similar sense, right, the increase in weight is a stimulus for your muscle. Because again, if you're just doing this, if you're not progressing, then you're not growing, right? So like if you stay doing the same weight, then you're gonna stay the same size. Like it's very, very simple, very easy to follow. That is 90% of what bodybuilding is. If you do something one way, like it's what Rich Piana says, I swear to God, I quote him 3 times a video. What you put in is what you get out. So if you stay doing the same weight, you'll stay the same size. If you stay increasing weight, you'll get bigger. And in a sense, the more frequently you're trying to lift heavier, the bigger you should end up becoming if you recover properly and your diet is correct. Of course, you can't expect to get stronger, but then eat nothing and sleep like shit. Like that, there's no common sense in that. right? So if every single week, and I don't mean you're progressive overloading, like you're only capable, let's say you start curling 35-pound dumbbells and the next day you're like, oh, I need a progressive overload, let me grab the 60s. You know that's too far of a jump. Like you probably won't even be able to curl it. So like if you can't really do a heavier new weight for 1 rep, then you really shouldn't be trying to do it at all, because like even if you cheat and you manage to swing out or get out like 3 or 4 for like a bicep curl, you're gonna tear that bicep if you just grab 60 pounds out of nowhere one day. But if one day you're doing 35s, then the next 40, then next week it's 50s, then it's 55s, right? Or even if you stay on the 50s for 4 weeks, but then week 1 you can curl it for 4 reps, week 2 you could curl it for 6, week 3 you could curl it for 8. Like as long as you're constantly stimulating and constantly growing that muscle, then it will grow like it's supposed to, right? Because again, your muscle only needs stimulus to grow. There is no magic 3x12, 4x10 ab circuit, arm circuit that you can do that's gonna make you look like Dwayne Rock Johnson. Like your muscle needs stimulus to grow. So always try to lift a little bit heavier than the lift you did before, or eat a little bit more than the day you did before. You know, if you're trying to put on size or something like that, or eat a little less than you did the day before. If you're trying to lose weight, just constantly be making those small tweaks in your, your workout plan, your diet plan, whatever, to be able to hit your goals. Because at the end of the day, it's really like the little progress that you make over time that totals up, right? Like when I started curling 35-pound dumbbells and I thought they were heavy when I was 17, never did I imagine that, like, after progressively overloading in the future, like, okay, now I can start grabbing the 45s and the 50s, or I haven't tried 55 yet, but I have tried 50s. But that's all I wanted to do for this video. I want to keep it short. Believe it or not, I recorded like 2 20-minute videos. Literally one 20-minute video was like 5 minutes ago and I ran out of space, and then I just had to scrap the whole thing. And then yesterday I recorded a 20-minute video, wasn't able to upload it. I don't know why. But if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know, comment.